Hi, welcome to Moose Jaw This Week, and we're in a place that a lot of people don't get to see it in Moose Jaw, and that's the Masonic Temple up at in Moose Jaw, just off of Thatcher Drive. And we were lucky today to have the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Saskatchewan, Dave Abel.
That's correct.
I got
yes,
it.
Good morning.
All
yes,
right, welcome, and thanks for coming over from Regina to talk about this. It's a good thing.
Yes, well, thank you for inviting me. I look forward to the visit.
Yeah, well, it took a long time to make this happen, but I'm glad, thanks to Harold Wilfong and others, to make sure that we had a chance to talk to you, because this is a pretty prestigious organization. It's also something that has a mystery about it, because people don't get to see too much of the process. And it so describe, what is a Mason exactly?
Well, it's a man in Saskatchewan. They have to be at least 18 years of age, and we go through a variety of degrees, as they're called, and it's just to help a man with confidence, self-discipline, and just generally a better outlook towards our fellow men throughout the world. And any number of men, not only in Moose Jaw or in the whole province of Saskatchewan, have been Freemasons. That's the full term, is Freemasons. The province, Saskatchewan, has approximately 51 lodges, and there are roughly 2,500 men, or brethren as we call them, throughout the province. Larger centers such as Saskatoon, Regina, Moose Jaw, Yorkton may have 2 or 3 lodges. For example, Moose Jaw itself has 3 lodges that work out of this building.
Now, and again, it's an organization that does a lot of things in the community for people, but again, it's a secret society.
Well, it's often referred to as a secret society. We like to think that the secrets are not necessarily all that secret, I guess, is the word. It's not unlike any other organization. They have their own private way of doing things, and I would say that it's more our private way of doing things within our meetings, particularly in our rituals in the first, the second, and the third degree. Although there is a lot of it out there on the web, some of which is totally erroneous, and some of it is bang on. But
thanks Wikipedia.
Thanks, yes, and the internet. There's a number of things there that anyone can look up. Okay.
Yeah. So some of these accoutrements that you have on signify your office, and we were wondering some of them we don't know. Like it's just done. So this is called.
This is a collar, and this is the jewel of the Grand Master for the province. Other ranks within the fraternity will have different insignia, and it's all written down in our material, so that the brethren, as we call one another, brothers, can recognize it and see that I'm wearing the Grand Master's collar and the jewel and the apron.
Yes. And the apron is, there's so many things, we can't even begin. We could take an apron and do a whole show just about all the elements that are there
within it.
And
exactly.
But these cuffs that you have on too, this is what we don't know why that is. It's just part of the accoutrement.
It's part of the accoutrements for the Grand Master. Other provinces will have their district deputy Grand Masters will wear these. In Saskatchewan, they don't. Again, the insignias will change for the different ranks.
Yeah. Now, how did you get involved with becoming a Mason? I know a lot of it is family tradition.
Yes.
But is that the case with you?
That was the case with myself. My father was a Mason in British Columbia. I'm actually originally from British Columbia.
Whereabouts?
A little place called Rock Creek and then Grand Forks.
Okay.
And but I joined the RCMP in 1967 and came to Saskatchewan, and I've been here ever since. But in those days, you had to be 21 before you could be a Mason, and I knew my dad was. My mother was in the Order of Eastern Star, which which is the ladies' side of Freemasonry, so to speak. And I was always curious about it. And I enjoy history, and there's a lot of history to be found in Freemasonry, such as the meaning behind the cuffs and the collar and the apron and those sorts of things, and the rituals as well.
And of course, Alexander the Great, it goes back to, he was one of the most prominent people. A lot of things that are in his lifestyle or in his history involve Masonry.
I can't say that for sure. I honestly don't know. I haven't read anything on that in particular, but I'm sure we could find something on the web that may allude to that.
And maybe it would be true.
It could possibly be true.
Yeah. So what job do you have to do as the Grand Mason? What things do you have? Do you have to go around and check up on people?
Well, I don't necessarily have to do the checking up. We have what are called the District Deputy Grand Masters, and there's one for this district here in Moose Jaw, and he would attend all the lodges for his official visit. He would go through a particular process of determining how the lodge is operating. Are they doing their floor work, as we call it, properly, and maintaining continuity with the Constitution. If he found that there was something out of order, he reports that to me, and if it was serious or somebody needed help in their ritual work, we would then decide what we could do to help the lodge. As for myself, when I go to visit a lodge, it's just more fraternal visit. I don't have to usually do anything other than enjoy the fellowship of the brethren present, attend a meeting, and go to our festive board after, which is where the fellowship is really, there's a bonding there and the brotherhood at that particular time.
And also there's a thing that people see, the Shriners. Now, to be a Shriner, you have to be a Mason before you can be a Shriner, and that's part of the process.
Yes, absolutely. And every one of the Shriners that you see here in Moose Jaw with their equestrian team are all Masons first. What happens is sometimes is that after a brother goes through the 3 degrees, he then decides that he would like to go into what we call concordant bodies, and the Shrine is one of them. And they do wonderful work with the Shriners hospitals throughout the United States and here in Canada with the Children's Hospital in Montreal. They raise funds, in particular the Shrine Clubs in Saskatchewan raise transportation money for the families to take them to Montreal or whatever hospital the child may need services from. And it's all free, and it's all because of the Shriners. So they do a lot of good work in that area.
So that's kind of like the service club arm of the Mason.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that because we don't like to use that term at times, but they're definitely a very visible face of Freemasonry and a very important part of our charity arm. As far as charity within Freemasonry, we tend to look after ourselves on a little more lower key note.
Yeah, it's a wonderful organization, and it's surprising the amount of people that you know that you don't know that they're Masons, and they are very much good members of the community. And I think that the Freemason process is something that helps them to become good people.
Absolutely. There's the hidden mysteries of our rituals, if you want to call it that, is an interpretation of what those rituals mean to each and every one of us. But the underlying tenets, as we call it, are brotherly love, relief, and truth. Brotherly love really is to, get along with mankind, humankind actually. The relief is the charity. If you can help someone, then help them. And truth is really just to, be truthful in all your actions. And that leads into community involvement. And in particular, I know for example in Regina and throughout the province, there's any number of streets that are named after men who were Masons.
Oh, really?
And if you go into the history of a lot of the names in Regina, for example, they're all Freemasons at one time.
That's an interesting thing I didn't know about. I'm doing some research about a military thing, and I know some streets in Regina are named connected with him, but I didn't. Maybe he's even a Mason. I don't know.
Could possibly be.
Yeah.
And the military actually has a very strong following within the world of Freemasonry, and it dates back many hundreds of years. And a lot of the military regiments had their own lodges, and their lodges traveled with them. They took their constitution and any number of the material with them, their Bible and square and compasses, the working tools as we call them, and they would take them wherever their regiment eventually wound up, either in theater or battle as they call it, or occupation, or however the case may be. So they're spread throughout the world.
Yeah, and next year, 2017, is the 300th anniversary.
Yes, on the 24th of June, 2017 will mark the 300th anniversary of organized Freemasonry, I suppose you'd call it, where the United Grand Lodge of England brought all the lodges together in England and formalized constitution and ritual and things like that, which has been steadily evolving over the years. It's what we have today is not necessarily exactly what they had written 300 years ago. The rituals will change to a certain extent, and the constitution as well, which are all subject to the overall agreement by the brethren in the province or area, whichever is going to amend a constitution.
And so it's quite a, as you say, a brotherhood and fellowship of people. And I'm really happy that you had the chance to come down and talk to us today. We're in our last minute, so if somebody was interested in becoming Mason, what could they do to find out about that?
Well, there's any number of people here in the town of Moose Jaw, city of Moose Jaw, pardon me, that could help them. You mentioned Harold Wilfong, and he could certainly help anyone in that regard. As far as for within the province, probably the best bet is to go to the web, which is www.saskmasons.ca, and that will take you to the Grand Lodge website, and there will be phone numbers there. There will also be every lodge and district that's within the province of Saskatchewan, and you can find out who and any contact number within that particular area to help that person out.
Dave, thank you very much for shedding some light. Next time we come, we'll talk about the different chairs and the different roles and things like that. But thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you again.
And when we come back, we'll be talking about something else that's very interesting and informative about Moose Jaw, so don't go away.